Are you still struggling with slipping even after trying grip tuning? Don't worry, I'll provide you with a proper race tune. A lot of people prefer tuning their cars for drag racing, while others look for tuning setups for circuit racing. So in this video, I will start by tuning for circuit racing and then move on to tuning for drag racing. In the suspension section, there are a lot of parts to consider. If you don't know where to start, I suggest starting with springs. With racing springs or higher parts upgrades, you will be able to adjust the stiffness and length of the springs. If you're on a budget with Class 3 or lower cars, I suggest only upgrading to sport parts is enough. Now, if you have a car that really needs adjustable parts tuned, I will break it down for you as simple as possible. Before we go to springs, if your cars have front heavy or rear heavy weight distribution, you will need to apply balanced weight distributions adjustments to your springs first, and then we will adjust the right tune for your car later. I already made a video about weight distribution on different cars and will leave a link in the description so you can check it out. Now, if you already know how different weight distributions affect your car, we can continue. If you are going to take your car with balanced weight distribution to a circuit race, and your car is rear-wheel drive, the stiffness on the rear springs should be a lot stiffer than usual, while the front springs should be a little stiffer than usual. If your car is all-wheel drive, the stiffness on the rear springs should be a lot stiffer than usual, and the front springs should be a little stiffer than usual, but not too much. And if your car is front-wheel drive, the stiffness on the rear springs should be less stiff than usual, while the front springs should be a lot stiffer than usual. And that's tuned for balanced weight distribution cars. Now for front heavy and rear heavy cars. Make sure you have applied the balanced weight distributions adjustments to your car first, so we can continue. For front heavy like 60/40ths cars, the stiffness on the rear springs should be a little stiffer than the adjustments, while the front springs should be stiffer than the adjustments. And for rear heavy like 40/60ths cars, the stiffness on the rear springs should be stiffer than the adjustments, while the front springs should be a little stiffer than the adjustments. And that's all the springs adjustments for circuit racing. If you apply these adjustments to your adjustable springs with the right setup, you will have more grip and stability when cornering, which is really important for circuit racing. For drag racing, if your car is front-wheel drive, the rear springs should be a bit softer, while the front springs should be really stiff, similar to circuit racing, but even stiffer. This is because you don't need to brake or turn your wheel during drag racing. And for all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive, the rear springs should be really stiff, similar to circuit racing, but even stiffer, while the front springs should be softer to allow better weight transfer to the rear wheels, which helps improve traction when starting off. These drag racing adjustments may look like circuit racing settings, but circuit racing shouldn't have maximum stiffness, or your car will slip while cornering. After all set up, you can adjust the length of the springs as much as you like, as it doesn't affect your car in CarX Street. The next part is dampers. Dampers can help improve stability while cornering if you have the right setup. In circuit racing, we focus on traction when exiting corners. With these bump and rebound settings, it will prevent your car from slipping. You can apply this to all types of cars, regardless of the drivetrain or weight distribution. This setting can be applied to drag racing cars too. It helps improve traction when starting off. So yeah, it's pretty much universal. Just be careful with those bump and rebound settings. Increasing the fast bump and fast rebound too much can cause your car to bounce off. Let's move on to the next parts of the car. Wheel suspension arms. With adjustable rear suspension arms, you will able to adjust the camber and wheel toe. Negative wheel toe on the rear will help prevent your car from oversteer. It helps you enter and exit the corner faster. This part doesn't really matter for drag racing. The camber is the same. It only matters for circuit racing. A little negative camber can help your car have more grip when cornering. Now, with adjustable front suspension arms, you will be able to adjust the camber, caster angle, Ackerman angle, steering angle, and wheel toe. A little negative camber will provide you with more grip. The caster angle. A negative caster angle makes the steering more responsive and agile, which is good for circuit racing that has tons of street cars on the track. So I'm suggest to apply this to both type of race, since CarX Street have street cars on the road. But if you feel that your car turns too easily and you don't like it, Your caster angle should be positive to improve the stability of your steering. The Ackerman angle. The Ackerman angle can improve your steering ability but also can cause oversteer and understeer easily too. Only a bit more angle is enough. The steering angle. Having more steering angle can prevent your car from losing control. For drag race car, you don't need any adjustments on camber, Ackerman angle, and steering angle at all. The front wheel toe. Positive front wheel toe can make steering your car easier, while negative front wheel toe will enhance the stability of your car for drag racing. So your drag racing car may need front suspension arms, but doesn't need rear suspension arms upgrade at all. Before we move on to the next parts of the car, I will make sure you know what oversteer and understeer look like. Oversteer will happen when you don't have enough grip on your rear wheel, and it will look like this. Too much accelerate while exiting corner will cause oversteer. While understeer will happen when you don't have enough grip on your front wheel, and it will look like this. Too much accelerate while entering corner will cause oversteer, so we have stabilizer to prevent oversteer and understeer. If your car often understeers, you will only need stabilizer upgrade on the rear wheel, with a little upgrade on it. But if your car often oversteers, you will only need stabilizer upgrade on the front wheel, of course, with a little upgrade on it. And this is a little trick from me. If you have your wheel offset look like this, I'm sure you see the difference between front and rear offset. With offset like this, it will cause understeer. But if you have your wheel offset look like this, it will cause oversteer. And second trick is about tires. For circuit race, with lower pressure on the front tires, in CarX Street, your car will steering easier without oversteer and understeer. About the rear tires pressure, just leave it like that. Decrease it will slow your car, increase it will oversteer your car too. For drag race car, if it is long distance race, maximum tire pressure will give you the highest top speed. If it is short distance race, minimum tire pressure will give you faster acceleration speed. And before we leaving, it really takes time to make this video, so your likes and subscriptions would be greatly appreciated. Also, feel free to leave a comment. I hope this video helps you understand and customize your car more easily. Alright, thanks for watching. See ya!